Welcome back to the Keiser Report. I'm Max Keiser. Time now to go to Shanghai and speak with Dan Collins of the ChinaMoneyReport.com. Dan, welcome back to the Keiser Report.
Thanks, Max. Good to be back.
All right, Dan, the Asia pivot. How is Obama's pivot being portrayed in the local media? And I want to know, what is a pivot? As a war threat, a good times? What's going on?
Yeah, the so-called Asian pivot over here in China, they really refer to it as the China containment strategy from the Obama administration. It's basically a new policy put in place going back to about 2005 by American military planners. It's basically to try to encircle China. They've signed new agreements with the Philippines. We have now access to Philippine bases we haven't had in decades. We're stationing troops in Darwin, Australia. We've got 1,000 there now. We're heading up to 2,500. We're trying to talk to the Vietnam and Malaysia. We're trying to basically create a group of allies around the Asia-Pacific region to try to bottle up and contain China. We call it the Asia pivot strategy. Military planners are on record about talking about putting 60% of our naval assets in Asia-Pacific. 60% of our Air Force bases outside the United States will be in Asia-Pacific. So basically the military planners now, after 12 years of fruitless wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, are kind of sensing the end of the so-called war on terror, and they're looking for the next cash cow, which is going to be China, because they finally have a credible superpower with which to justify military budgets for.
Right. This is kind of the point I made in the first half of the show, that the end of the war on terror is over. It's been proven to be a hoax for the most part. It was a huge black hole of money. It consumed trillions of dollars. It made a lot of people rich. It impoverished the country. And then the funny thing about this China pivot, though, is that it wasn't under Clinton and the World Trade Organization. They want China in. They want them under the tent. They want them in they're buddies now. So within just this short period of time, the U.S. is saying, no, you're not our friend. We don't want to be with you anymore. We want the Vietnamese. We want these other people. I mean, is it that callous? Is it that ridiculously obtuse? Is it insane? It appears insane to me. The people in China, what do they make of this? What do they make of Obama's strategy? To me, it seems insane. What do they think?
Well, it's just, I guess, after decades of American foreign policy being so bizarre, it's almost par for the course. Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right on the disconnect. I mean, American business leaders and the Pentagon planners are now totally opposite of what they think about China. General Motors sells more cars in China than they do the United States. 30–40% of corporate profits for American multinationals in one way come from China, either selling into China or manufacturing out of China. So it's absolutely a bizarre situation to side with some of these countries like Vietnam, who we had a war with, or Japan and Korea that have totally blocked access to any American products. And we're going to side with them now and try to go after China. And it really is just the next cash cow to justify, $700–800 billion military budgets.
Now, I think when Obama leaves office and they go in there, they're going to find a meth lab. Because he's like a guy who's on meth. He's tweaking all the time. He just can't. He's just trying to ransack the neighborhood for who knows.